All right, let's just dive right in. We're going to talk about a problem that is, well, probably as old as cooking itself, that daily stress of figuring out what's for dinner. And today, we're looking at something called Meal Genie. It's an AI chef that's designed to, well, pretty much completely change how you feel about your kitten.
I mean, this just hits home, right? We've all been there. Oh, yeah, for sure. It's that moment, you know the one? It's 6 p.m., you're standing in front of the fridge, just staring into the void at all these random ingredients. And you're just thinking, what can I possibly make with this? It's that feeling, that universal frustration at the end of a long day when you're hungry and your fridge just looks like a puzzle with missing pieces. That is the exact problem Meal Genie is trying to solve.
And that feeling, it just spirals, doesn't it? It leads to this whole cycle of just frustration. You're staring at, I don't know, a lonely bell pepper and some chicken. So what do? You grab your phone. You start scrolling endlessly through recipe websites, fighting off a million ads and, scrolling past someone's entire life story just to find the actual recipe. It's a mess. And what happens? You end up wasting food you bought without a plan. You eat the same old boring meals over and over again, and you're just totally overwhelmed by the whole idea of meal planning.
So you might be thinking, wait, don't we have apps for this? And yeah, we do. But why haven't they really fixed the problem? Let's talk about the old way and why these traditional recipe apps, well, they often just make things worse. Okay, so here's the first big issue, the search problem. It's a fundamental disconnect. See, you have the ingredients, right? But the apps are just search engines. You type in chicken recipes, and boom, you get a list of amazing meals that all require 15 other things you don't have. So the app isn't helping you cook, it's just giving you a new shopping list. It's telling you to go to the store, not to use what you've got.
And then there's the other side of the coin, the planning problem. I'm sure you've tried these meal planning apps. They seem like a great idea, but they are so rigid. They want you to map out every single meal a week in advance. But life happens, right? Your friend calls for a spontaneous dinner out, you work late, plans change. And suddenly that perfect color-coded meal plan just becomes a roadmap to a fridge full of sad, wilting ingredients. Okay, so this table really lays it all out. On one side, you've got your traditional apps. You're searching through thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of recipes. They tell you that you require specific ingredients. It's a one-size-fits-all approach, and it's usually just cluttered with ads. But now, look at the Meal Genie column. Instead of searching, you generate one perfect recipe. Instead of requiring ingredients, it works with what you have. It's not one-size-fits-all, it is personalized just for you. And it's not a static database, it's powered by AI creativity, all in a super clean, focused experience. It's not just a little better, it's a completely different way of thinking. So, this leads us to a totally new approach. Meal Genie isn't just a minor upgrade, it's a complete reversal. It's about flipping the entire recipe script on its head. And here's the core idea, the most important part. Meal Genie starts with what you have. The starting point is your fridge, not a search bar. You just tell it what's in there, and it creates a personalized recipe just for you for right now. It's a super simple shift, but moving from a recipe-first world to an ingredient-first world, well, that changes absolutely everything. So how does it actually do that? I mean, this isn't just some fancy filter on a giant database of recipes. Let's peel back the curtain a little and look at the magic behind it, the tech that makes this whole thing work. The powerhouse behind Meal Genie is something called a large language model, or an LLM. And the best way to think about it is, it's not a cookbook. It's more like a creative chef. It isn't just searching for a recipe that happens to match your ingredients. No, it actually understands the principles of cooking, so it can create a brand new recipe just for you on the spot. It knows that if you're out of basil, hey, maybe you can use oregano. It understands the context, which is the key. And using it sounds almost too easy. It's basically 3 steps. Step 1, you list what you have. I've got some chicken breasts, some broccoli, a little bit of rice. Step 2, you add your context. This is where you can say things like, hey, I only have 20 minutes, or make it vegan, or even I'm a total beginner in the kitchen. And then step 3, bam. In just a few seconds, you get a totally custom recipe generated just for you. And what's really cool is how flexible this thing is under the hood. It's not tied to just one AI model. It can work with all the big ones, OpenAI, Claude, Gemini, even local models. It can adapt to pretty much any dietary need you throw at it. Keto, vegan, you name it. It can match your skill level, your time constraints, and it even has this smart image generation, so you always see a really nice picture of what you're about to make. Okay, the tech is impressive for sure, but what does this all actually mean for your real life, for your kitchen? Let's bring this back down to earth and talk about the real world impact.
Okay, look at this number, 40%. Just let that sink in. 40%. That is a staggering amount of food that goes to waste in US households. I mean, that's a huge problem, not just for our wallets, but for the environment too. And this is where Meal Genie's whole philosophy really hits home. Because it's built from the ground up to use what you already have, it directly tackles that massive food waste problem. It's designed to turn that stuff you might otherwise throw out into a delicious meal. And the benefits just kind of ripple out from there. You're going to save money, right? Because you stop buying all those special ingredients for just one recipe. You're going to save time. We're talking hours every week that you used to spend just scrolling. And maybe most importantly, it reduces that mental load, that constant nagging question of what's for dinner. It's just answered. Plus, since you control the ingredients, you're in complete control of what you eat, which can make eating healthier so much easier. So when you step back, you see this isn't really just about a clever app. It's pointing towards something bigger, a whole new vision for what our relationship with cooking could actually be.
And this quote, I think it just says it all. The idea that cooking should be accessible, flexible, inspiring, sustainable, and fun. It's about making it work for any skill level, making it flexible enough for your actual real life. It's about sparking new ideas, being sustainable, and, just making cooking fun again. It's about bringing joy back into the kitchen instead of all that stress.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. What if cooking wasn't a stressful chore you had to manage every single day? What if instead it was a moment for creativity, a moment of inspiration? That right there is the future that something like Meal Genie is trying to build.